I wonder how much a rare candy would go for.
No! No! Gaming! 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 Deku, Deku! Revive me, revive me, revive me.
What the f-
What? What happened?
Oh, he sniped me!
Woo! Oh, wait. Oh, my head! My head!
Alrighty. Um. Anyway. Let's get ourselves going for today. Um. We are in Euro Truck again. I'm sorry guys. I think I'll just be playing Euro Truck because I am more interested in Euro than I am interested in American. Just because, I love this game, and I know, it's one of those things where, um, I'm gonna be working on getting the these things where, we're going to work on a new intro at some point. I know I've been saying this for a little while. I shouldn't be. Where this new intro is going to be related to doing a lot of things. Now, of course, I wanted to share with you guys something today that I did while I was off stream over the weekend. I didn't get on yesterday because I had some other things I needed to do. um, and stuff. Where I've been kind of getting into this thing where a lot of, I've been lazy. I've been doing a lot of lazy things, and I just need to learn to not be so lazy. It's like that. Now, I wanted to share with you guys. We are now down here in Puerto Rico. For any of you, we took a long, long trip from up here. Over the weekend, I basically had went down here to Leon. I don't remember exactly what we were doing specifically. While I'm down here, I took this long job. While I was off, and we're now gonna go to driver manager. Okay. As you know, actually no, company truck manager. As you know, we're down here. We now have the DAF XF Super Space, and this whole truck is gonna be a new setup that we are going to utilize for my main truck. Because as you can see, that's just a normal thing, but we have that truck now available to us. We are going to basically we have the chemical tank. Utilization has gone down a little bit, but can be used if needed be. We now have three in Berlin. We have a dry freighter side door in Limassol. We have a dry freighter side door in Lillehammer. Let's go check our garage manager. We do not have one in Porto. I'm gonna leave the one here in Lillehammer because we have now also a driver down here in Lillehammer as well, and we will have a second driver here soon. And the reason why I have one down here in Porto is because we now are going to start being able to utilize. We have now 5 garages compared to American truck where we have less driver capability. Thanks Cindy Lemerrill for joining the TikTok live. So we have a lot here. Because I don't have if you go to the EVGA dealer, okay, because that's the one. No, it's not the EVGA, it's the Volvo. Because I'm not mistaken, if it's the Volvo, I think what I'm thinking in my fleet configuration, I don't have enough to get us a third driver for the area that we are in. Because today, I'm going to change some of our services. We're gonna maybe switch trucks, and maybe we will get a driver for this we're going to go to company. We're going to go to driver manager. We're going to relocate me to Orents, and we're going to take this DAF XF Superspace. We're also going to go to trailer purchase. We're going to go to my fleet configuration. We're going to come over here and buy the dry freight slide door for now, and we're going to put one over here. Over here. So that means we can still have the dry freighter side door. We can still have. We are going to keep the two curtain sides. The curtain sides we're just going to use those as our cheapo Berlin stuff. But we have three things. We're going to start getting into utilization of some other stuff to maybe start getting into more of. Thanks, Miserable Marble, for joining the TikTok live. Manage the garage. Trailer manager. We're gonna use this one. Okay? Whenever I go to another place, I always buy a trailer. Like, we have like 3 trailers now. We have at least, I always like to have, we have 2 curtain sides up in Berlin and a chemical tank that's up there. That one's gonna get some use out of it, more use out of it. We're gonna go to the recruitment agency. We're gonna hire another driver. Umberto, it is there. Yeah, actually, to be honest, pretty much I was gonna go Umberto E. The only other one was Dan A. I think we go with you because you have 4 available on your slot, and we're gonna hire you. Barcelona's being fully utilized. You're being fully utilized. You are not. Now, we're gonna go to truck manager. Okay. We're gonna upgrade you. Okay. We are going to do some of the upgrading. We're gonna keep you normal. But then what we're going to do is you're gonna get changed. Okay. I always like to use the rainbow one, but I also like the progressive one as well. But I tend to prefer the... But I do tend to prefer the regular rainbow. Okay. Now, we're going to come in here. We're going to clear that. And then we throw the rainbow flag. Pretty much everywhere else gets the rainbow flag. We'll keep that there for everybody. pretty much I'm clearing out a lot on that for it. And we'll confirm the order there. Now, of course, um, okay. So now we're going to copy this config. Alright, we've copied our config. Let me also open up the other thing. Thanks Mark and thanks Barnex for joining the TikTok live. So what I tend to do when I create my vehicles, I always tend to spend a lot more and then I tend to do a lot. We got a new mail. I haven't checked the mail service. We have like 40 emails. A lot of that has to do with my bank gets overdrawn. Like my bank got overdrawn sometimes, and it's okay. It happens. It sometimes happens in a game like this. Um, where we get a lot of things like that. Um, and one of the things that I always will tell you that I love about this game compared to any other game out there, okay? Really dumb. Why does my freaking... My mouse is being weird. Okay, there we go. Alright. I just needed to make sure that I could get my thing better situated. On these things. Now, of course, thanks to the Light oh 07. Of course, a lot of today is going to be pertaining to a lot of, we're going to be driving around for this for a little while. We are in Porto. Let me see if we got anything in down here. Um, and I'm gonna tell you like, look at cargo. No, can we? Still cannot select Porto yet. Okay. You know what? We're not gonna go to the right. We're gonna go forward. But a lot of today, there's a lot of things that you can do, um, within, um, within the things that we manage in our day-to-day life. Now, this could be all related to the English names of things, and it's not said to be English. And we're just driving in the normal. Now, one of the things that's going to be tough with driving in a truck like this is I don't put these trucks that have like the lower end. Let's go to the cargo market. Now we've got Porto. We got Porto B, 47 hours. Now, of course, this 47 hours um is going over into Alexandria, which we don't want to go into Europe because it does crash. So we're gonna have to figure out um what we can do, because now we should be able to have access to Porto. Because there's only two. There's that and IKEA. And so the now I don't know why Porto is not showing up. We're gonna do Porto. Wonder why it's not showing up on the map. Because I would love to take the sawdust that way. But there's no way we can make it there through this. So we've got one other stop to make. We got one more stop to make at IKEA, which I think this is the only place that we're gonna have anything which is taking that sawdust. Is all we're gonna get. Which is all fine by me. If we can take that and get to Egypt without crashing, then we should be A-okay. Nope, it's up here. I gotta make sure I'm doing this right. Thanks, Postal Dairy, for joining the TikTok live thing. Thank you. You know, I did not see you come out. I always have a hard time trying to get around tight corners and stuff. Because I'm gonna tell you, I am going to, tell you the whole reason why I'm picking up a whole bunch of vehicles and utilizing every vehicle in the game is because I want to test out and experience what's going to be your best kind of vehicles that you can use in certain areas, what's going to be your best hauling capacity if you're trying to get up to haul. I'm going to tell you right now, there's only one that I will tell you. If you're still stuck on 1.55 because of mod compatibility, one of the things you need to really understand is that if you're in Iceland, please do not run with low capacity trucks. Make sure that truck is at least 700 miles per hour or better up there in Iceland, because you're not going to be able to go anywhere. And make sure that you have a good transmission. A 12+2 transmission is going to be your best bet. up there. That's the place that I do know, and I usually, when I'm up in that area, I usually will put the Scanias or the Volvos up there, um, because uh, because that's going to be always your best bet in things. Because you're trying, because when I say that, you're going up here from up in this point right here. You're gonna want to do that because of your truck not being able to make it up the highest top of the hill right there. Um, for any of it. Of course, this truck here, we are going to, um, that's going that way, to call Bozek there. We also have the used packaging going up to La Roche. And then we have a couple of smaller end-id areas. I think what we might do is we cannot get to Egypt. Egypt is kind of one of those things where I was having a struggle from coming out from over here in this area here to get over here. So you might have to do this by getting over here and then driving down here to get there. With all the mods that I do use. And for all the mods that I do use, guys, I pretty much use a lot of things. But we're gonna try you. We're gonna take this job since we're here. We might as well take a lot of this stuff. Now, of course, there are some things already up there in 1.56. Because we use the 1.56 as a thing that is changing a little bit with even the GMC community, like before. But pretty much I use pretty much everything within the GMC community stuff and Pro Mods. Pretty much Pro Mods is the basis of what I use. I will use everything in Pro Mods and only Pro Mods, and that's it. So if a mod does not work with Pro Mods, then I do not use it. And I also do not use I also do not use some mods. Some mods I do not use within the thing, like Southeast Asia, or some of these mods I don't use because they are either one, I have too many mods to install and it breaks, or I basically mostly for for that reason. But I love modifying games. It's so simple and easy to use through Bazai. I love it. For this game anyway. But to be honest, technology has changed a lot over the years since I was young. You know, I've used pretty much most of my life. I've sat down and I said that not me, but I said that I would switch over to Linux just to try it out not too long ago, because mostly I've been using Windows XP. I've used Windows Vista, I've used Windows 7, 8, 8.1, Windows 10 and 11. And out of all of the Baza and all of the ones that I've enjoyed the most for operating systems speak, so far the best one I've liked so far has been the Windows 7 and Bazite are the two best operating systems I've ever used, and I absolutely love these products, and I love these things, and I'm happy with it. I'm not somebody that does not like the Bazite or like these uh a lot of these other pieces of technology and things. Like I've pretty much I have used Intel and AMD, and primarily I have used AMD primarily for gaming, but that's not the whole. But the whole point of the matter is like I can go and utilize. There's a couple things that I can utilize. I can go and utilize a Intel for gaming too. I could use Intel, but I've pretty much went AMD because AMD pretty much um, you know, pretty much I have used it as a basis for everything that I have built upon, building a system that, both Windows and um, uh, using a Linux-based operating system back. Because I was almost ready. I was kind of not gonna hop in and run with Bazite because of I wasn't like, and I'm not trusting it because of I was waiting for the Steam OS to show up as an official desktop release kind of thing. And then I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna bucket. I'm just gonna give up on that thing and just go straight into utilizing a operating system Bazite. And I wanted something that's easy to understand, easy to learn, and not something that's gonna be difficult for me playing on it. Just utilizing it as a daily driver. I do occasionally get a little bit of hiccups here and there on it. Like if you're like me and you turn on your computer before you plug in your HDMI, you have to plug in your HDMI before you turn on your computer, or you just hit the reset button and it will work for you that way. Because to be honest, it's like I didn't think about it. But there are some quirks that you cannot use on this that you can use on Windows, like my capture card. If you're looking into something, you gotta make sure that it's compliant for it. It doesn't mean that it doesn't have to say it's compliant for Linux. It just has to mean that it has to meet a certain requirement on that graphics card, on that capture card, to be able to use for Linux-based operating systems. Like you cannot just come in here and utilize you can't just come in here and use Razer content on Bazite. You can't come in here and do that. You cannot come and use it just in general on Linux because so if you are looking at getting a computer, make sure that you get a Lenovo will work just fine for you through this. So don't fret if you can't utilize these Linux operating systems. I went and installed Linux, and I get into a boot system with Linux with Lenovo, and I'm like, okay, thank you. And you can get, when you go out and you get Lenovo computers, you can go out and get a Fedora, which is a Linux distro, right off the bat. So I'm like, Lenovo's one that's willing to really do it, and I can do it on my computer. Fudge. But I just can't use my capture card. My Razer Ripjaws capture card does not work or run or be noticed on that. If I would have known that, if I would have jumped on Linux prior to me not having a job, then I would have absolutely jumped on the point of. And I actually need to get over here instead. I was gonna go the other way, but I'm one of those people that utilizes Linux as a basic core principle on the thing is you can save yourself 300 bucks on a computer build that you could use somewhere else, if you're going to do just gaming in general. Like, if you're somebody that likes to play likes to play content for like Linux, I mean, not Linux, like Battlefield or Call of Duty, here's what I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you this right now, is you need to put that $300 probably towards PlayStation or something so that you can go and play these things. If you're looking at building a computer for it, that's actually the greatest thing you can do. That's going to maximize your gameplay, maximize it. I will tell you, I will not touch a Microsoft. I have not touched a Microsoft Xbox in ages. I haven't bought any of the latest Xbox stuff because I'm like, most of my friends played on PlayStation anyways. My basic friend played on PlayStation, so I was like, I'm gonna jump on PlayStation as a point for it. But not only did I jump on PlayStation, I pretty much utilized Sony as the only system that absolutely supports the LGBTQ community. Not because of that, but more because they are pretty much somebody that I lean heavily on when it comes to taking care of a lot of their consumers. Sony does take care of a lot of the consumer base. I'm not saying that they're perfect at it. They're not just as perfect as Windows is. Windows is a lot more egregious than Sony is. Sony's actually kind of learning their lesson on. Not a lot of people really like open, like live service games. Like this game, like Euro Truck Simulator, is not considered a live service game. It is, but it's not. It's kind of one of those things where it's live service in the sense of that you're basically buying these DLC maps and having to get all of these things, but that's pretty much about it. Like, there isn't any more on deciding that, you know, you gotta pick your choice and pick what you're going to stand upon within your rights and things. Like, I stand on consumer rights in a lot of my stuff. Like, I am somebody that likes to be more conscious about what I buy and where I buy my things. Like, I don't want AI to be used in my everyday life on my computer. I'm still stuck on Windows 11 for my laptop because of the capture card issue. If it wasn't the capture card issue, I would have switched over to Bazite in a heartbeat right now. Like, completely utilizing Bazite as my basis for everything. And, you know, I can make, you know, if you're somebody that does a lot of resumes and stuff and has a lot of other things, like if you're just a daily driver, like all you do is you just sit there and watch YouTube, or you sit there and you just watch or just browse the internet on a daily basis, then you should just switch over to a Linux distro anyway. Doesn't matter which one you use, try to pick something more Fedora-esque or something easier for you to understand and learn, and not just go and jump headfirst into picking like a Linux. And to be honest, like, I'm just saying, like, it's probably a better idea to pick something easier than, you know, me. I don't know much about Linux, so I picked something that is relatively easy to use, and that's what I wanted. I didn't want something that, you know, for now, if you're gaming, you're gonna want to probably pick a distro that's going to be ideally easy for you to set up with Steam, and easy for you to run. Thanks Filipino for joining the Trovo stream, and thank you Nate Brown for joining the TikTok live. Thank you for the 4 viewers who are watching currently on YouTube. Thank you. Remember guys, you guys can always hit that subscribe on YouTube for free. Follow on YouTube, on Trovo and TikTok, and you guys, it's all free to do so. And you guys can also not only do that, you guys can also subscribe to support me a little bit on the Trovo stream. Trovo does give you past live stream access for night streams. Day streams are also put there, but not on YouTube. Day streams are free for everybody to use because I cross-platform on a daily basis. I cross-platform through Windows. I mean, not Windows, through TikTok, Trovo, and YouTube directly. So that's what I do. Eventually at some point I will probably be dropping TikTok in general, at some point, because with the way things are going with TikTok, I'm not completely for sure I want to stay on it. And no, not just because it's a Chinese product, but because of the United States handling of it. The United States version of TikTok is not going to be what I'm going to expect it to be. They're going to handle the algorithm to feed us their propaganda, probably, most likely, because it's like, I don't want to be fed anything more than what I want to hear in most of the case. You know, I'm sitting here and I'm on YouTube. I pretty much always am watching political content, but I don't ever check my feed on what's there. Sometimes I will catch something that seems really interesting through it, but I don't. Most of the time I'm sitting here watching ets2. I'm watching Barnacules, Nerdgasm every Saturday. I'm always watching I'm always watching Gamers Nexus, occasionally Linus Media Inquirer, Linus Tech Tips. Occasionally I will pick something from him. I don't watch him very often much anymore because, to be honest, it's not against him. It's more of I just technically watch a lot of Midas Touch more than anything else. And Tennessee Brando, and a lot of more political content than I do technology, but I do pay attention to a little bit of technology and a little bit of things on this thing. Is, you know, I've been also watching some ordinary gamers, Amudahar, and a lot of these things, and a lot of the things that when I get into a lot of politics, it's one of those things I talk about on a daily basis, on almost an everyday kind of occurrence, because, to be honest, like, some of the things I don't get right, I'm going to admit that. I am not a perfect human being whatsoever. On the issue of politics, I am kind of, will tell you, I am left-leaning, but I am moderate left than I am moderate right, because there's 3 things why I'm a moderate left than I would be considered a moderate right, and I used to be considered a moderate right myself, until I realized that a lot of the things that I want are more or less, I'm more of a progressive than I am a true left person. Most of the only things that I want, and it's not like I am asking for a lot of stuff from me that I would absolutely want in the United States, and it's very a thing where, you know, there have been times where guns are kind of one of those things where it's hot button topic for me, where I kind of really, some days, like, I feel like I want to just ban it because it's just so problematic and so much problem going on with it. But then I look at the bright side of things and I say, well, I don't really want it so much banned per se. I don't want our guns banned. I don't want them gone. But there's just a handful of things that I don't think is needed truly. Um, and I'm kind of one of those people that you shouldn't have a silencer. You shouldn't be able to have some of these high capacity rounds. You can still have a high capacity round and actually have it on single fire and still absolutely do some damage to people. And I'm not somebody that wants to get rid of everything, because we have to have it to protect ourselves. We need it more than ever right now because of Donald Trump, because of the things that could be potentially going on with a lot of protecting yourself as a lot of violence. It's like you get rid of guns today, it's too late. It's too late on that issue, because there are relatively more Americans having a guns today than they did in 1997 when ARs were originally banned. Um, and they were part of that. And I'm like, what is this road? Like, seriously, what went on with that road there? I don't get it. Where are we at on the road? We're on the A52. Don't get it. But so I've kind of somebody that, has learned to understand a lot about it. The only reason why I said I am against the whole reason why I'm against silencers is not because of uh it's not because you need to protect your ears, but because of what goes on or with cops not being able to understand the issue. I looked this up. I went and asked Google specifically, not Google, more Start Page or Google, one of the two. Because I will go and look up Google just on an occasion. Mostly I go to Start Page and then I switch over to Google. I start with those. And I asked, why did California ban these silencers? Why did they ban it in their state? They wanted to ban the silencer because of a cop issue. If the cop was not able to be able to hear from a 4 block radius. Like, I'm not somebody that's against a lot of guns, because I play a lot of gun games. I am not somebody that is against it. I'm just saying that we just need to have better sensible of understanding what constitute a ban. Like my governor wanted to ban ARs and wanted to ban high capacity magazines, pretty much. And I understand why, but then at the same time I also understand why we shouldn't. This is a weird road. Where are we at to... Okay, so this road right here, I know that that some of these could be could just be graphical glitches going on, because I use so much of the graphical fidelity and graphical things. But one of the things that I will always tell you that I am not against the gun being taken away, because, but will I ever have a gun myself? Probably not, because I just don't want to be around it. But I'm around it because my brother has them, and my mom is getting one. But I think it's more evident that that I probably should, just because of the instance of me not being able to get the care that I need, not uh or because I could end up being taken, and I don't want to. And with what the way the United States is going at this time is, a lot of the reason why I'm saying this is because a lot of the freedom, um that I get into a lot of political content for this reason why I said that we should be having guns is because look what's going on with ICE right now. ICE is one of those people that we need to really defend ourselves on a lot of things. People should not be taken away because you're trans. It's like we should be allowing anybody to have a um where everybody should be able to have access to having a gun. Everybody should be able to have access to the freedom to own a lot of things. Like I'm always somebody that, I should not be here playing a video game. Um, like that we should be able to own our games. Our games should be fully functional offline, completely 100% being able to play offline. There's a handful of games out there that I'm generally like, okay, this game can stay offline, can stay online, and can go offline at any point because I'm just not like interested in it. But that's the problem with it, is like I don't care for me personally, but I know that there are a lot of people that would want these games, like the crew to stay online. I want to be able to make sure that Need for Speed, like that one game that I absolutely was gonna come back and play at one point, that they just took off air. And I'm like, this is why I'm so adamant about game preservation. Like being able to just play a game that I want to play any point at any time without having to be connected to the internet. Like I can still play this game. Without having to be connected to the internet. Okay, I do this all the time with it, but there are these things out there that are personally, there's a lot of things out there that really gets me going a lot of the time with games like this is like this, like games, like keep playing this game and getting more maps and getting more things. It costs you about $20 to play this game on a non-sale based of a game, but it's like $5 on sale on a lot of times. And I'm like, this is a game where people who get this game, like this is so worth it just alone for the $5. Like if you go, like I'm not going to tell you to go and buy your Euro Truck right now. I'm not going to tell you to go out and buy American Truck right now. But if you choose to go out and buy an American Truck Simulator, you will be able to get more cities in your California, more cities in these locations that allow you to extend the life of a game and give you a little bit more life out of it, just a little bit. And I'm always looking at DLCs and things that you can expand your game just a little bit to improve your sustainability of playing a game. Like if you don't have the money right now to go out and buy every stinking map DLC, you will have, in American Truck, you have a little bit of decisions to make. Personally, if I always tell you, if I'm going to tell you, I'm going to recommend for you if you are playing in American Truck, I will tell you, I will recommend you get the basic, you get the 3 map bundle, 3 maps, you get pro mods, and then you get discover, and you get like more discover Oregon. You get more cities, California, and you get the other one. And I think that's a great thing to have, bringing life into games. Like if a game company no longer exists, mods we should be able to modify our games. We should be able to take the game and actually make it better and do what we want to do with it. Okay? Instead of dropping these games and dropping them off and not being able to play the game. It's like, I want to be able to, you know, one of my favorite games of all time that I don't play a lot of EA games anymore, and I don't think I'm going to even, I'm only going to try the Battle Royale because it's free to play. But I'm not going to buy the game. I'm not going to spend my money on EA and do it when, you know, it's like, I barely spend, like, I finally kind of realized that spending money on skins and stuff, like, it's fine if you pay the game for free. I don't mind spending a little bit for free, but for me, I saw Fortnite was one of the biggest things where I played Save the World back in the day. I stopped playing it because my computer couldn't run the game. But the Fortnite that I enjoyed playing, I no longer have to go out and buy things because I got the Founders Edition, and everybody should have been able to have access to this. Everybody should have been able to continue. They do, but you have to spend like $20 to get access to like this little bit of information. On it. You should be able to spend a little bit on a lot of the information where everything is pretty much substantially a good place in all of the importance of these things. Is like, you can spend $20 to get a $20 worth of V-Bucks, but you have to go play Save the World, you know. And it's like, you shouldn't have to spend on money on Fortnite. You shouldn't have to spend these things. It's like, I don't no longer buy the battle passes in Fortnite. I only earn the V-Bucks and then buy the battle passes that way. So I still get to have the skins that most everybody gets to have. I still get to have a lot of the things that, you know, are things that I will buy. I will absolutely use that game and play that game for it. You know, I'm always advocating for games that do not really necessarily put in, you know, like Off the Grid. Like, I've kind of like, what? When did Off the Grid kind of get two political opponents, the United States opponents? Why did they put that in a game? That doesn't need to be in a game like Off the Grid. It doesn't need to be like, you know, Family Guy and Beavis and Butthead and these things should not be in Call of Duty. So I'm like, you know, I like Family Guy, but it wasn't me saying, you know, I wouldn't mind buying it in Fortnite because Fortnite sits there as a cartoonish game that I don't mind. I don't mind The Simpsons. I don't mind IPs being in a Fortnite, but Call of Duty shouldn't be. I want Call of Duty to be a realistic shooter. And so Call of Duty's kind of backed up on a lot of their things when they come into removing skill-based matchmaking. It's like, skill-based matchmaking, I'm somebody that doesn't care about skill-based matchmaking, to be honest. Skill-based matchmaking really shouldn't have been in these games, because the point of the matter is like, it just teaches you to learn to get better at these games. It teaches you to learn to become better at a lot of these titles and things, and I just love that. And I love that that way. But I'm also somebody that doesn't care if like I don't care. Like they shouldn't be in there, but it's like I don't care. It's not. It's like if somebody's willing to buy it, somebody's willing to buy it. I'm not gonna complain. All I'm gonna say is like I want my games to be able to be dead center, right there, willing to be able to be purchasable, able to be played offline, and that's what I want. I don't mind these Warzone battle royales. We should be able to make our decisions and decide where we buy our stuff. It's all about these things. It's like you can go out and buy a whole lot of clothes. Like I have like a full shoe rack of clothes sitting back, a full shoe rack of shoes, um, of sneakers and boots and platforms all on that shelf back that you guys cannot really see, but it's like I always am somebody that's willing to go out and buy um uh always willing to buy it. But to be honest, you shouldn't be going out and buying shoes that are like if you feel like you aren't gonna wear them and you're hesitant. You're hesitant to buy it. You shouldn't buy it. Okay? That's the whole point. If you're hesitant on it, you probably shouldn't buy it. You know? Now, I am also going to tell you I'm somewhat hesitant when I was hesitant to buy a couple of maps for American Truck Simulator. I was going to almost get Oklahoma and another one for American Truck. And I was gonna like, yeah, no, I don't think I really want to right now. Because I want to save that 36 bucks, because there might be something that I can buy in a later date, that might come out that I really want. You know, I'm also somebody that's working on, I need to get back into working on my games. Like, I'm somebody that we should be taking care of things. And look, I'm always gonna be somebody that wants that, you know, if a game has LGBTQ stuff in it, I'm gonna most likely be able to buy. I'm gonna most likely willing to buy games that are out there that have it in it. Like I don't mind if Call of Duty has like a charm in a game for an LGBTQ thing. Okay, a charm is different than having a like if you had a charm for like Family Guy, or having a charm for something that's might not be Call of Duty based, but that would be something that is, I would see, okay, that's fine. That's just basically your gun. You're modifying your gun. You get to make your gun the way you want it done, and that's how you can do in real life. You can create your own skins for your guns. You can do that. We need to get some rest. That's gas. We're gonna go down here. So I'm also somebody that you look at these things across the globe and things that, you know, I will tell you, like, I am going to pick countries like when I play a game like this. I'm going to be out there willing to I am out here willing to put my safety, not my safety, my decision when I play a game like this and I'm able to travel. I'm putting myself more into Europe and putting myself into countries that my business goes into countries where where I'm gonna put my trucking business in there, and I'm just gonna let my just travel that way. Where if because I would rather have them like, I'm gonna drop off. I'm gonna make this. Yes, they're gonna get, but I get the money, and that grows our business to start supporting things. Like I'm always going to pick things like that. I'm not gonna go out and uh like The Sims. Like, I've been wanting The Sims to have the Sims to be able to have LGBTQ characters. But I've kind of stopped playing the game because it's EA, and EA's kind of I've stopped it even more, wanting to not play EA titles. But it's kind of like not wanting to play EA titles is one of those things, but it's um thanks Bridget for joining the TikTok live. Thank you. So I always like that's the thing that I do is I'm not gonna be like somebody that picks the aforementioned buildings or places, but I do. I look when I look at a game, I look at it if it's something that I'm interested in. I look at the company, I look at the things a little bit when I do spend my games. Like, that's why I said I'm willing to go out and support Steam only because I have to. Because, I kind of have to deal with it. But when I go and look at, that's why I tend to more push against more with Sony. They're kind of a lot not really supporting the community this past year, but they kind of do. They kind of are willing. So they're just not wanting to they're just wanting to tiptoe around it so that they're not like pushing it. But Sony tends to give blue and tends to give towards it. And I'm like, I am somebody that if you are out there, I don't care if you are LGBTQ. I don't care if you are on a lot of these things. I usually don't care a lot about the game. Like when it comes to food or when it comes to the things like that, I do tend to really do on that. If I am like asked to go to places, like I'm not gonna go and pick KFC. I'm not gonna go pick Taco Bell. I'm not gonna pick these. Like I would like I kind of would still pick Taco Bell, but I don't. It's really tough when you have your favorite things, and to be honest, like Dr. Pepper, Mountain Dew are my two favorite drinks of all time right now. I kind of don't like Coke. I kind of don't like Pepsi, because their taste is just not. It does not have that sweet, that like taste that just doesn't taste right. And I I don't know why. It's just my taste buds are so much more into it. Now, of course, there's a lot of things where I pick a lot of these places where I pretty much basically, like, if I'm going to go out there, I look and check to see who owns these, who's owned by this. Should I really go out and support buy these things? Should I really take into that decision to really support a company or support a business like that, it's gonna be where I usually tend to not care a lot. I don't boycott a lot of businesses, but I do boycott a few places, and those few places that I do boycott are pretty much you know, I'm not gonna, like, there was an aforementioned thing that I was um um that I do not really go out and buy from, you know. Like, I am always gonna tell you, like, I will go out and buy a lot of LGBTQ related content or things, but some places that do not, like Harry Potter, like, I'm not gonna sit there and watch or play or read or view anything Harry Potter. If you are out there and you happen to utilize that and you were posting it like 2-3 years ago, that's a different story than if you are somebody that posts it today. If you're somebody that's posting Harry Potter stuff, you're pretty much not gonna get my political leaning. You're gonna pretty much get my content left from you. Like, I literally left a guy that I used to watch. You know, I left it. I gave up. I moved. I stopped watching on Twitch because of Amazon. And I only go to Amazon now for pretty much only two things and only two things. I only go to watch for the Twitch drops for that, and that's the only support that I give, and that's all I do. Or I'm going over there to watch Barnacles. Those are the only two people. Those are the only two places where I go, and I'm like, okay, that's all I'm gonna buy. That's all I'm gonna watch on that platform, because I'm not gonna stay there. I left X. I left Twitter, to be honest. I saw the writing on the wall, and I'm like, you know what? I don't sit there and watch on Twitter. I don't post there anymore. I stopped doing that. I don't watch, like, I don't want to be on a platform like that. I'm trying to get away from a lot of places like these platforms that, you know, and I'm always somebody that also believes in open source and open source platforms, and that's where I like to keep my place in. Is I always rather have being able to utilize my system the way that I want to do it. You know, I don't modify a lot of my system. I don't care a lot about it, but I just don't want AI being at the center of my everyday usage. I don't go out into Google. I don't use Google on a daily basis. For Gemini, I don't utilize it. I don't like Gemini. I don't like these a lot of using AI. Now, I don't mind AI in general, but I just don't like AI in general. In both cases, like, I'm okay utilizing AI when I go and look up something. Oh, I'm going to use ChatGPT. I looked up something real quick because I'm like, what's the population? What's the things? Like, I'm not going to go sit out there and look up everything. Like, look, you cannot go out and blame a country on saying that, look, if you have 5 million people in the United States who are autistic, like, the thing is like, if you have 5 million adults who are autistic, how many adults are in this country? There's 300 million. There's over 300 million people living in the United States. Over 300 million. That's 5 billion plus about 5-6 million adults that have it. and and then you'll probably have at least maybe 5 million to 6 million kids who have autism. Autism and so it's like you got to really think about a lot of the things going on and think about what can we do as a society, as a nation. What can we do to really... I lost my train of thought there because I was taking a picture of that thing. I don't remember what I was talking about. Oh yeah, when you look at autism, autism is something that when you look at society as a whole, you look at how many people are in that country. Like if there are 5 million adults, 6 million adults, but then you go look at another country, it's like, okay, but then how many autistic kids are in China? How many autistic kids are in Russia? How many autistic kids are in these countries how many kids are in India that are this, and it's like you look at that and it's like, okay, and then you say you cannot explain that because you're not listening to what's going on. It's like you can say that here in America, you can say this, and this, but this, and this, but you also have to look at the data from where it's coming from. Like, there has not, like, if you really want to study on this and create the study, then prove it. You can't prove the fact that vaccines create autism. You cannot prove that Tylenol is this. Yes, there are some times where you might not, but you cannot say that it's this particular factor, because there's a lot of factors that relate to autism, that could relate to it, and you can't just rely on, say, oh, it's specifically this thing, because if this person has been taking Tylenol, then this person has not, and this person did not get vaccinated, and this person did get vaccinated and had the Tylenol, and this person had the autism but this person did not, then you are not really paying attention to the fact that autism does not affect those things. It may be more present because we have better knowledge and better understanding of autism and a better understanding of these things. It's the same thing with the LGBTQ community, especially the trans community too. You know, I'm pretty sure that's like a walkway. To allow for people to go to get gas, get rest, but then also go across over the highway to get food. I love places like that. But there's a lot of things that you look at the LGBTQ, you look at the trans community, and you look at what's going on with a lot of these things. Well, guess what? The biggest issue that you want to constitute the X, like I always say this, but you want to constitute the XY chromosome. You don't listen. You want to constitute XX and XY. Well, what about those that have other chromosomal types that you don't even realize? It's like they were going to do this in the Olympics in 1997. They were going to institute that, but then they backtracked and said, no, we're not going to do this because there were 7 people who were born XY, and but were born female. Like, you cannot really judge somebody based on their chromosomes. You cannot judge somebody based on those characteristics, because you're gonna have somebody out there's gonna look masculine, completely masculine. It's like, I followed somebody that really, absolutely, that I thought was completely 100% female. You cannot tell. You cannot tell people out there. You cannot tell if somebody's male or female. You can't. And I'm always somebody that also stands and says, look, you also cannot be with the LGBTQ community and not have some understanding on this issue. The whole thing with the LGBTQ community is, like, you sit here and you listen to these things. It's like there's a lot of studies out there that actually do support the LGBTQ community more. There is going to be very little bit of, like, anybody going to do that. It's like, you take 46 people opted out of LGBTQ teaching. 46 families out of 160, over 160,000 students in a district. I can't remember, it was like in one of the states that allowed for LGBTQ people to exist for this thing where these people were allowed to basically have the equal opportunity to basically choose to whether or not, and basically only 46, and that's 46 is basically a lot of people need to learn and understand LGBTQ people. It's like I'm somebody that absolutely goes out and listens and looks and actually goes out and actually pays more attention to critical thinking. It's like, you can, like, the thing is, like, you ban trans people from having access to the bathroom. Then what about somebody who's cisgendered, who's going to look something like that? You're going to have a woman. You're going to have somebody that's going to look totally different than you. Everybody has different looks. Everybody's going to look different. Everybody's going to be different. Every single person is absolutely going to be different than people who are not LGBTQ, who are not. And there are going to be a lot of people who are going to have this thing where a woman walks into the bathroom, they're going to get harassed and say, you can't be there because somebody, all it's going to take is somebody who is a male who goes in and questions the legitimacy of that person, and just basically goes after and targets the woman because they don't like women. And so now they're going to do is they're going to target them and say, you can't go into the bathroom because you're not a woman, even though that person's a woman. There are going to be people out there that are going after people that just genuinely look like a male, but are genuinely a male, but don't have the male parts, don't have anything, but genuinely just has some of those male characteristics that are on a female. Because everybody's going to have different testosterone levels, everybody's going to have different hormones. The hormones are going to be different in everybody. Everybody's going to have different ways of doing things and different ways of handling their own body. Everybody's going to have cancer differently. You may have cancer history in your family. You're going to have a more heightened risk for cancer than anybody else in your family. But that doesn't mean that you will get cancer. It just means you'll have a higher chance, a higher likely of getting it. There are going to be times where you won't get it at all and you'll be a carrier of it. It's like you have autism. Well, guess what? If one person in your family has autism, that means your whole family has autism. That means your whole family can potentially have an autistic child based on those characteristics and those things. And you're going to have a lot of things going to be based around that decision. A lot of that's going to be fixated upon the issue. And the issue is that, you know, it is a lot of that is going to be a lot of issues with it because first off, okay. So we'll do this instead. I know we're not supposed to. But there's a lot of things on the issue of what goes on in our life that, you know, you're gonna question somebody. You question it because you are concerned. But when you look at the big picture, 9 times out of 10, you aren't gonna know if, you know, I've gone, and I'll tell you this, I have gone into bathrooms that are not owned, that have LGBTQ content, not LGBTQ content, but that have, I've been into the women's restroom and nobody has ever once complained. Nobody has once complained, except for maybe my mom, but that's beside the point. It's you've grown out, you gotta realize that you go to the women's restroom, you have a narrow-minded belief on it. Okay, now how much far do I got left to go? Okay, I don't have a lot to go, so I'll just finish this up, and then we're gonna get off. I'm generally gonna get off. I'm not gonna sit here and... And I'm gonna tell you, like, I am always gonna tell you that I am somebody that's going to... It's going to listen and understand that, you know, you question somebody, it's going to be where now you're going to have a lot more trouble because a narrow-minded people are just going to do it because they're going to basically owe a bounty. Okay, now you start introducing the bounty problem because there's a lot of people who introduced a bounty system in Texas, and you know, you start implementing that. Well, guess what? Now that bounty that you take that trans bounty, well, guess what? Now anybody's going to do that, and then you're going to be really screwed. You're really screwing it up because there's going to be somebody out there that's greedy, that wants money, and is willing to take that issue and utilize that money for their own personal gain. They're going to find ways to gain the system, and they're going to do it, and they're going to to do it, and it's gonna hurt a lot of people because of it. It's the whole thing why I don't take a lot of, the only sponsor I have right now is Christian Satori, and that's the only one I have. Because, guess what? It's not something that I take out. It's like, if I'm going to feel like I'm going to use it on a daily basis myself, I'm going to take that sponsorship. I'm going to take it and utilize that. But if I'm not somebody that's going to use that on a daily basis, or wear that product on a daily basis, then what's the point? Okay, let's do high value cargo. So I'm gonna be honest and relatively honest that that you look at the issue with the bathrooms, and you look at the that, you're gonna there are a lot of people out there that you can look at and say that this person's, shadow of a doubt, this person is a male. Okay? And there are people out there that are going to be female, that you can just know that they're that. But there are going to be people that you may say, well, you're going to question that, but it's like Imani Khalif, or somebody who you don't know the laws within a country. You don't know what goes on in that country because you're narrow-minded. You only hear what you want to hear, and that's all you do. You don't go and check those societies in other countries. Other countries, like the United States, like these things, when you listen to just what's being said on the TV, you're not going to get anywhere. That's why what you need to really think about is look at all the go and study up on these other countries outside of just your home country. Go and visit another country. You're gonna have your narrow-mindedness is what's caused a lot of people to have those decisions and make poor decisions in life. But I'm going to tell you this, guys. I'm going to get off, so hope you guys enjoyed today. Remember to always look up your other countries, look up these places, and study up on their culture as well. I advocate to implore you to understand that, and to understand that we're not the only country that experiences homelessness. We're not the only country that experiences graffiti. We're not the only country that experiences drug problems. We're not the only country that experiences immigration problems. Okay? Like you can say that but we're one of those countries that immigration is a problem, but it's mostly the right saying that immigration is a problem. Immigration is not a problem here. Truly a big, huge problem. It's not absolutely big, huge problem. A lot of times, immigrants who come to a country are going to know a lot more about that country than going to another country than their home country, because they're just grew up and they're just around the family. They don't know kind of everything what goes on. A lot of times, I'm not saying that every person is they know their home country. I'm just saying the vast majority of people are going to know more about the United States than us as a United States citizen, because they have to get here to become a citizen. And in order to become a citizen, they need to know a lot. So that, you know, and a lot of that. So we don't have that big of an issue that a lot of people say we do. We have a lot of problems, but guess what? I could just easily with a pen, literally just write off the debt and say, we're not paying any more debt, we're done. Literally all somebody has to do, all that Trump has to do right now is just say, hey, we're going to completely eliminate the debt, and we're not going to have to worry about it anymore. Hello? He has the power, he has full immunity to do so. If that's the case, we would have zero debt right now. We would have no debt. But we do. And every country has debts. Every country has a debt. And you're like, oh, well, we need to pay off our debt. We need to pay this off. But then why are you if we need to pay off our debt, then why are you giving $40 billion to another country? Why are you giving money to help another country? Why are you building this ballroom when we could be using that to pay off our debt? Why are you buying Kristi Noem these jets and all these other things that, you know, could have been used for other things and stuff? But anyway, let's go to our services real quick before we do quite get off. We do have a Volvo FH3 sleeper for 53. We are going to hold on, let me check how many Volvo FH3s do I have. I only have 2. We're gonna go to used trucks. We're gonna go to the Volvo FH3. We're gonna purchase you. And we will put you over there. And then we have the DAF XF Space for it, but I think we're going to company. We're going to go to truck manager. We're gonna go down here. We're gonna go to the Volvo. We're going to upgrade you from the 420. Because we have a little bit of time to upgrade. I'm gonna upgrade you to the tag lift. We'll upgrade you to the 750 horsepower. We're gonna put you to the 12 plus 2 retarder. We'll leave it standard. With the Globetrotter XL, there, and then we add in the paint. We add in the paint there. And then we're going to take out the SL mod pack. We'll put the rainbow, and then we'll go put paint on both. Now we'll just leave everything stock for pretty much most of it. And then we'll go down here. We will confirm that. And then we can upgrade you. And look at what we have down here. We're still not level 30 yet. But we use the Viking there, and we use the Sting for it. So I just wanted to know what we use for that there. You should be on the Elemental. You're on the Runner, so we should be okay. So confirm that order. Nothing really got changed. So now we can upgrade you and go over here. I know what this one is. Down here. You need to go find... Well, I actually know. Hold on. I think I got most of it set up for it. I think what we can do is we can copy the configuration. It's gonna cost us 51. 51 for it, so we will have another driver coming in. I'm gonna hire another driver, Maximilian T. You really got a good name. You're also good as well. The Maximilian T. Your name just really screams that you're Eaton J also screams. We're gonna hire just because Barcelona. Just screams your name. You know what? We'll just save the game here, guys. And we're gonna get off. Hope you guys enjoyed. Remember, hit that follow, hit that subscribe. If you guys are watching, remember it's free to subscribe and follow on all these platforms except Trovo. The only thing that you do have to pay is your subscription here, but everywhere else is free. So anyway, we will catch you guys later. Make sure you hit that like, subscribe here on YouTube. Make sure you hit that bell notification for the all so you can stay up to date for free. And we will see you guys